For those who don't know what permanent jewelry is, maybe they're thinking, and I hear these questions all the time, is this a tattoo? Is this welded to my skin? Like all kinds of crazy assumptions. So if you can show them, hey, this is exactly what it is. It's not a big deal. It's fun. And it's just a quick little spark and it's completely safe. The more uncertainty and fear you can get rid of, the better.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's Kylie. Today I am honored and super excited to be interviewing Jake, the owner of the company and the top-rated marketer in the permanent jewelry industry. So, Jake.
Hey, thanks for that. I'm excited to be talking with Kylie today because she's actually been working with me for a year now. She's a master at social media. She actually helps run my social media. So I want this to be more of a discussion today, so we can learn from you as well.
Yeah, super excited. Let's get started. All right, so what was your very first social media platform a new permanent jewelry artist should focus on and why?
Okay, so if you guys are just starting out, definitely Facebook's very, very important, and we'll explain that in a little bit. And then Instagram. Those are the two main ones. We've tested out TikTok, and I think it's cool to have a TikTok, but it's definitely not our main driver of traffic we found for permanent jewelry. Now with Facebook and Instagram, I kind of consider those almost the same platform, even though they're different, just because Facebook owns Instagram under the title Meta. But basically for that, you've got Facebook groups. You've got Facebook business pages that you're going to want to start. So you're going to start a Facebook business page. And then with the groups that I mentioned, we'll talk about that in another video for that strategy. For Instagram, we're all familiar with Instagram, or hopefully you are, but these platforms are free to start. They're free to get people to. They're a great way to connect with people. And when it comes to growing a business, it is all about connections.
Great. How important is it to have a business or a creator account instead of a personal profile?
Okay, so business account or creator account, these are two different types of Instagram accounts you can have. Same thing with Facebook. There's a personal Facebook account, and I see this get confused all the time, and then there's a business page. And so you want to have a business page on Facebook, and then on Instagram, you either want to have a business account or a creator account. You can change that in the setting. And anytime you don't know how to do something, like how do I change it to a business account, go to ChatGPT and look it up. It'll tell you. But the advantages of a business or creator account is now you can have your address on there, which is very important for a business. Now, if you're someone who just travels around to different events, you might not put your address on there. But if you have any kind of location, or at least put the city on there, that's very important. And then, with business, you can also have call to actions, like links to booking sites, links to learn more about them, up in their profile in the bio. So that's two main reasons. Another reason that I've never seen anybody teach is the more engagement and interaction you get on your Instagram, the better, obviously, but then they're tracking that. And so basically Instagram watches who likes your post, who comments, who visits your profile. And that's going to be very important information in the future because they'll actually be able to run ads to it.
Yeah.
And so target those people. And so let's say in 3 months, you're like, Jake, I want to get more clients. I want to get more attention. One of the first things we can do is say, okay, anyone who's visited your Instagram, we can actually run ads directly to those people. And so that's the importance of a business account, is you're building that data.
What should a good bio include for permanent jewelry artists?
Awesome. I'll say my answer, then I want to ask you the same thing.
Okay.
So Instagram bios, I think one of the biggest mistakes is not putting your location or the area you do business in, because people might see that you do jewelry, but if they don't realize it's a local business or a local thing, they might think you're just selling jewelry online. And so I can see that as one of the biggest confusions. So in your headline, or even in the name on your Instagram account, and I'm not talking about your username. So when you create an Instagram, you're gonna have your username, but then you can actually put an actual name. It's a little confusing, but when you see it in settings, it'll make more sense. But on the name, you can say like permanent jewelry business, or whatever your name is.
You definitely need like a keyword, like permanent jewelry. You can even add maybe like the city in that name section. I think that would be probably the best. Besides like your name, I mean, if you have permanent jewelry in your name, then you can keep it. But sometimes a lot of people have their names as their username. So even just having, if you wanted to do your name, the name of your permanent jewelry business, and then having permanent jewelry, and then with the city or state, wherever you're located.
Yeah, so like here it'd be permanent jewelry Orlando. That way when people are searching for permanent jewelry in Orlando, you're more likely to show up and people can find you. So that's a big one. What else do you think we need in bios? Maybe what services they offer?
Services, types of chains or types of jewelry, gold, the quality of it is super important. You kind of have to set yourself apart from all the other ones to break it up. I wouldn't do, a lot of people like to do long bios to where you have to click that more for it to read it. It's just not appealing to the eye. So I always recommend, stacking your bio, like a bullet point list pretty much, but instead of like actual bullet points, you can use cute emojis like the sparkle emoji.
Yeah.
Things that obviously go with your business. But yeah, like the address, a lot of people just do pop-ups so they travel, but super important to have, again, your location. Instagram sees that, it reads that. So any keyword is super important to include in the bio.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing to remember is a lot of people don't know, or maybe they're unsure about what permanent jewelry is or how to get it done. And so they're maybe wondering like, okay, is this something I order online? Is this something I have to come to a storefront?
Yeah.
Or do I have to go to an event to get this? How do I get it? And so the more clear you can make it to how to do business with you, how, like if I go to your profile, how do I pay you? How do I do business with you? How do I book with you? Like, do you go to events? Do I find you, is there an event calendar? Like these are all things to think about, like to make very accessible in the bio. Now, another advanced tactic is something like Linktree. And so if you're not familiar with Linktree, just Google it. Basically, it's a way to have one link that you can include in your bio, or not in the bio, but in the button under the bio. And you can, it's basically like a directory. And so you can have, a directory so when I click on that, I can see, okay, here's her event schedule. Here's her location. Here's frequently asked questions. Here's more information. Here's her website. And so that's very important, I think.
Yeah, and even a call to action, like maybe above that link tree, you can say like either book with me below or see where my next event is at, where will I be next, something like that. So people know where to go when they want to do business with you, get jewelry with you.
Yep, for sure. And before we go to the next question, one thing that I know you love are pinned posts. And so let's teach them a little bit about what are pinned posts on Instagram.
So pinned posts are the Instagram allows you up to 3 pinned posts. It's super important. It sets the tone for your entire Instagram. I really recommend, the 3 that I recommend would be 1, a picture of yourself. People need to know who you are. And so either a nice picture of you. It could be a selfie, so maybe you doing permanent jewelry. That way the person can clearly see who you are. And then in the caption, pretty much a biography about yourself, your business, where you're located, maybe the type of jewelry you offer. And then the second pin post I recommend would be maybe a quick video of you actually doing permanent jewelry, like a lifestyle kind of video. Maybe you had a pop-up so people kind of understand, maybe if you only do pop-ups, or maybe you have an actual location to do it. But those are the main 2 that I recommend. And then the other one you can kind of play around with. Maybe you're offering a specific promotion that month. You can pin that one. But yeah, or maybe you have a pop-up coming up and you want that one to be pinned so people can see where you'll be next. Again, you can play around with the pin. It's not set in stone. So that's why I love pin posts. Yeah,
I like what you said about showing permanent jewelry in action, because for those who don't know what permanent jewelry is, maybe they're thinking, and I hear these questions all the time, is this a tattoo? Is this welded to my skin? Like all kinds of crazy assumptions. And so the less assumptions you can allow your customer to make, the better, because they're going to assume the worst a lot of times.
Yeah.
And so if you can show them, hey, this is exactly what it is. It's not a big deal. It's fun. And it's just a quick little spark and it's completely safe. If you have some kind of post or video about that, that's going to help clear the fear and uncertainty that your customer or potential customer might have. And that's the number 1 key in marketing. The more uncertainty and fear you can get rid of, the better.
Yeah. I always like to say when I do, social media feedback sessions, I say, think about 1 picture, 1 video. If someone were to come to you, no idea about permanent jewelry, and you can only pretty much explain it in video or photo form, that's the picture you would show them. That's the picture or video that should be pinned to the top of your profile.
Right, because if you don't have pinned posts, then it's just going to be, people are you're going to post random stuff. And so, 1 week when somebody comes to your profile, it's going to look one way, and the next week it's going to be a different post. And so the pinned post allow you to control what somebody sees every time they come to your page.
Yeah. I love it. But next question, if someone doesn't have a lot of photos yet, what are some easy content ideas to start posting?
Well, one, I think, if you're one of our students, you have access to the photos and videos we give you in our marketing materials. And so start with that. And then a big one with photos, and I think this is actually another question you're gonna ask, but a big one with photos is don't worry about it being too professional. A lot of the photos you take can just be on your phone. And so, just do some jewelry on friends or family and, take photos of that, take little video clips of that and just start posting stuff like that. It doesn't have to be, super complicated or edited.
And yeah, again, asking when you do permanent jewelry, get that person to maybe follow you on Instagram and say, hey, like if you are somewhere cute with your permanent jewelry, I'd love to have the picture or something so I can post on, mine. And then you have content to post for you. And it's different, but what types of posts actually help drive sales and not just engagement?
For sales posts, a lot of people think like, oh, I just need to post a discount or I just need to post, a sell or something like that to get direct sales. That's okay every now and then. But if I go to your profile and it's just discount here, sell here, it's going to look one, trashy, and two, it's going to seem like you're desperate. And if I feel like I can always get a discount, then one, I'm going to ask for that discount if I do business with you. So you're automatically losing profits there. And two, it's going to seem like, okay, if this person's always giving a discount, they must not be very busy or in demand. And so I'd almost recommend not even putting discounts on your social media profiles because that, for all those reasons. And then what was the original question?
What types of posts actually help drive sales and not just engagement?
So the biggest thing there is creating curiosity. Because if people are curious about something, then they're going to watch more, they're going to want to learn more. And then the more they watch, they're going to be like, okay, I want to get this done. I got to find where she's located. I want to do this. They're going to send it to their friends. And so one of the best call to actions you can have on social media is, if someone would be interested in permanent jewelry, like a friend or family member, share this with them. Send them this link or send them this video.
How often should a new artist realistically be posting each week?
So, ideally you could post 3 to 5 times a week. Now that's going to be intimidating for people. And if you love posting, if you have a lot of content, you can post every day if you want, but definitely don't post more than once a day because on Instagram or Facebook or any social media platform, you're competing for attention. Attention is the real estate that you're fighting over with other businesses. But the problem is if you're posting, so basically Instagram is not going to show your post to everybody, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're going to pick and choose like who they think is going to be interested in it. If you post twice or 3 times a day, Instagram is now having to say like, okay, they have these 3 posts. We're going to have to distribute these to different people, but each post is going to get less attention. So that's a fancy way of saying if you post too much, if you overpost, it's going to cause your engagement to go down.
Yeah.
And so I would say post, 3 to 5 times a week max.
Yeah. And be mindful when you're posting too. Like try and figure out if you're a creator or a business page, you can see all of the charts and everything, who's following you, what times they're most active. So I definitely recommend, doing a deep dive and figuring that out.
Yep. I guess on a side note, what times do you find work best for our clients?
It's hit or miss. Like most of the time they're available in the mornings until 10, but then you also have to consider like, okay, most of these people have kids or they have day jobs. So morning times is good. And then afternoons, I would say, or lunchtime.
Yeah. I find a lot of times 7 or 8 p.m. is really good.
Yeah.
Because that's about the time, dinner's already cooked. You're kind of just chilling on the couch or you're laying in bed. And so people are on their phones more.
Yeah, I agree. You just kind of have to figure out where your audience is
and
everything.
Test different times and then take mental notes or look at your insights. And so on each post, you can click on the 3 dots and look up insights, or you can go to your settings on Instagram and see like, okay, this post got this many views and I posted at this time. And so you don't have to do this. This gets a little complicated, but just learning about, your metrics and stuff like that can really give you more insights and help you in the long run.
And just getting better at it. Yeah. If someone feels awkward on camera, how can they still create good content?
Here's the thing. We all feel awkward on camera, especially starting out. I remember my first 1-minute video I filmed for my website back in 2017. And I literally have a camera roll of, like 50 videos where I was trying to get the right angle and it looked bad. And I was self-conscious about everything. You're not alone. Nobody likes to do video. However, that's an advantage. That's an opportunity. You're going to learn in business when somebody doesn't like to do something or something is hard. That's the blue ocean. That's where you want to go because everybody else is scared to do video. And so do something different than other people if you want to stand out. And so going back to actual video tips, just practice. Pull out your phone, do a selfie video. You don't even have to post it. Just keep practicing, keep practicing. Stories are a great way to practice because they disappear after 24 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, yeah, I think selfie style videos are really good. Just like even like client interaction, obviously get permission, but having someone sitting down, maybe a quick little video of you helping them pick out a specific piece of jewelry or even you putting it together. There's just a lot of opportunity for, to create good content and as well as educational too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, and I do this myself, is we try to script out videos and make it perfect, and then you're just like messing up, and you're like, oh, this doesn't flow well.
Yeah.
This is a hack right here, what we're doing right now. Just literally go to ChatGPT and say, what are 5 questions people would have about permanent jewelry, or 10 questions, and then have like a family or friend or employee or whoever sit down with you and just ask you questions, and then the answer is your video.
Yeah.
And so it makes it easy because I'm not scripting anything out. I'm literally just answering questions.
What's the best way to use Instagram stories to stay top of mind with customers?
Yeah, so I always tell my team, post Instagram story at least every 2 to 3 hours, because what that does is it's going to push it to the front of people's newsfeed because it's based on when you posted it. So even if I have a great story if it was posted 12 hours ago, it's going to get seen probably less because people have already either watched it or it's not getting pushed to the front. So post every 2 to 3 hours on your stories. Now, if that's overwhelming to you and you can't do it, that's fine. Just post once or twice a day on stories. Maybe do 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon or evening.
Yeah.
That way you're staying in front of your customers.
Even having, again, going back to ChatGPT, can you script me out maybe 30 Instagram stories, quick, easy things that I could do that's, wouldn't take up too much of my time. Yep. So you can read over those and already kind of have an idea of what to post on this day and this day and this day, or literally just any helpful tips. You can do pretty much anything. I mean, I love stories. Mm-hmm. Realistically, I probably scroll 3 posts. I'm mainly watching stories. So I don't know. I think stories are more attention grabbing for me.
I mean, social media is always changing, but you're right. That is one thing I'm seeing right now is a lot of times we're getting more views on our stories than we do our actual posts. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Even with real, it's always changing. We post a lot of reels, but Instagram kind of knows we post a lot of reels. So then when you post a picture, it gets more likes, or, maybe for my personal, I post a lot of pictures and then I post a video and that one blows up, but it's you never know. I don't know.
So let's get deep with this a little bit. Why do you think that you prefer, like you personally, why do you watch stories instead of going through posts?
I think it's more engaging.
Because you think it's more real?
Yeah.
It's more raw, right?
Yeah. And I don't know. I think people just post in the moment with stories. And I find that more interesting. When you post an actual video or picture, it's more scripted out. And it's oh, I thought on this. I'm so nervous. I don't know. I just love stories because I think it's more real.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the point I wanted to make. Be real with your content because, if everything is over edited, if everything is super scripted, we have BS filters. Our BS filters have never been stronger. We're in a trust recession. And so what that means is we're starting not to even look at posts anymore because it's okay, I know this is either trying to sell me something or I know this is over edited. I just want to see what other people are doing.
Yeah. Like that. How important is location tagging and using local hashtags for a permanent jewelry business?
So I just watched a video with one of the lead of Instagram, and he talked about how they don't even do hashtag stuff. You can still do hashtags, but
there's no point.
Yeah, there's no point in doing hashtags on Instagram.
The algorithm is so good. Mm-hmm. It knows it hears your keywords. You don't even have to put hashtags anymore. Yeah,
because back in the day, people would, write a basic description, but then they would put 30 hashtags, hashtag Orlando, hashtag permanent jewelry, hashtag all these things. But now with the way the algorithms work, it's based on AI. So it looks at your videos, it looks at your photos, it knows what you're talking about. And so the key with that is make your descriptions better. And so instead of having 3-sentence description, make sure you're throwing stuff like, hey, we're located in this city, or my next upcoming event is here.
Best permanent jewelry in Orlando, Florida, or something like that. And I think having the location at the top too is good.
Yeah.
Even if you're going to pop-ups, festivals, anything, like showing people that you travel to all of these different cities.
When you say location at the top, you're talking about like when they make a post, they can add the location?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So even like you don't even have to do, where you're actually located. If you're doing pop-ups in this different city, tag it because people see that.
Yep.
What's one mistake you see permanent jewelry artists making on social media that's easy to fix?
One mistake that a lot of people make.
You want to know mine?
What?
Profile picture.
Yep. So what's a good profile picture they should have?
A picture of yourself.
Okay.
Or even if you wanted to get a little bit more on the creative side, you could maybe hold permanent jewelry or just like something with your hand, something showcasing, something close up, clear image. It doesn't even have to be like a professional headshot. It can literally just be a selfie. But I think it's super important to have that profile picture as yourself and not just like maybe your logo. Because a lot of people, they don't know about permanent jewelry. So if they just see like your name, but there's no context behind it, there's no permanent jewelry, they might be a little bit confused. So I think it's always good to have your face as a profile picture, and then they look at your bio and they automatically see permanent jewelry. So then they're making that connection. They're seeing permanent jewelry, they're seeing your face, and then now they see your name of the business. So you're connecting all of the dots, which is important.
Yeah, so think about this. Who is the face of, let's say, Nike?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's the point of that was there's a reason why these, someone like Nike has like, Michael Jordan or LeBron James or whatever star athletes they have, because they understand the concept. You need a face to the business. Like Subway had Jared back in the day. Even, Aflac has a duck as their character. You have to have some kind of character to your business, or not. If not, it's going to look like a generic jewelry company. And so that's what she's saying is your profile picture needs to be a face. People connect with faces. Even when we're born as babies, one of the first things our brain wants to do is find a human face, because that's where we're going to get our food from.
Yeah.
And so our brains are entrained to look for faces. And that's the biggest mistake I see is having a faceless business. Because most people just want to put their logos as a profile picture.
Even going a little bit deeper, I see it with social media feedbacks. I will do a lot, and I don't do any research before. I want it to be an authentic feedback. So sometimes I'm going and I'm like, I don't even know what this person looks like. And that's horrible.
Yep.
You are the face of your business. You have to be posting your face with your content. It even like not just your profile picture, like you need to be in your feed. But
exactly. Here's another advanced tip. Make sure that your profile picture on Instagram matches your profile picture on Facebook, and that you have the same profile picture everywhere, because that way people start to have that facial, we call it brand recognition, but you are your brand. As the business owner, you are your brand, especially when you're starting out and you're solo. So make sure that people have that facial brand recognition, and you don't want to have like different pictures everywhere because people are not going to recognize.
Yeah. And then, someone that might find you on Facebook, they're like, oh, well, I want to see what her Instagram looks like. So having that same profile picture is super key. So they'd be like, oh, well, that's the same profile picture she had on Facebook. And it can get a little confusing when you have different pictures on, but same business,
Right, exactly.
How important is a logo?
I think we just talked about that, but as far as logos go, they're cool to have, so you can like watermark your photos or put them on your brochures or pamphlets. Like, they're nice to have. They're not even a must-have. I don't care if you have a logo or not. I want to see you as the business owner.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing, don't go out and spend hundreds of dollars to get a logo made. It's a waste of money. They have so many logo creators now. You can make them on Canva. Heck, I think, pretty soon, if not already, ChatGPT is going to be able to generate logos for you.
Yeah. So when should I start promoting my business?
So the worst feeling in the world is, investing into training and supplies and opening up a business only to not have any customers. And so I would recommend you start building your social media profiles, if you haven't already, immediately, and go ahead and start promoting about 2 to 3 weeks before you open. And so, because, there's a common misconception of business, if you build it, they will come, like the old movie back in the day. And that's just not the case. Like, you have to get in front of people, you have to get attention. And it's not an instant thing. It's not like, oh, I posted today or I start running ads today and I've already got tons of bookings. You know, you need to start promoting your stuff at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance.
Yeah, I agree. Should I have a YouTube channel?
Yes, and this is one of the things I see nobody else teaching right now, because, you know, one of the biggest questions we get asked is, how do I rank higher on Google? So when people are searching permanent jewelry near me or permanent jewelry, you know, services, we can rank higher. Well, guess what? Guess who owns YouTube? Google. And so YouTube is actually the #2 search engine in the world. And you're probably thinking, well, okay, I don't have a bunch of videos. I don't have YouTube videos. All you need to do is whatever Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, you know, whatever videos you have, you can even do slideshows if you want.
Yeah.
Easy to edit, you know, easy to make. You need to just upload those to YouTube, tag the location, and then in the description, put like permanent jewelry in city or #1 permanent jewelry in city, or, you know, that way people can quickly find you when they're searching on Google. Your YouTube video will pop up.
Yeah. And so like you doing YouTube shorts, even doing that, like you don't have to post. I know we see a lot of like edited, nice YouTube videos. It can be so simple, just posting your reels that you post on Instagram and Facebook, posting it to YouTube shorts. But even like going into just doing a quick little video, a lot of people are going to say, what's permanent jewelry? What is permanent jewelry? Because they're curious, they don't know. But having videos like out there on YouTube like that, it would be really good for your business too.
Yeah, even document your journey as you're learning how to do the service, as you're learning how to do stuff, as you're testing it out on people or doing your first clients. Just have someone hold the phone, you know, vertical or horizontal, either one. Have somebody hold the phone, record you. If you don't have anybody there, use a tripod. You can get a tripod on Amazon for 25 bucks. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just about doing it.
Yeah. Do I need professional photos and videos?
So no, most of the, like, I've built multiple 7-figure businesses, and a lot of times the photos I was using were literally taken on my phone and didn't even look that good. But nowadays with the new iPhones, like, things look crystal clear, and so you don't need professional photos and videos. Now, once you get into building a website, and it's good to maybe have some stuff that you can put on your website, you know, but that's not a must-have right now. That's in the future. And one hack you could do is find a local videographer or photographer, probably a female, and say like, hey, I'd love to trade you some jewelry. You know, I'm happy to give you permanent jewelry in exchange for, you know, come take some headshots of me and some photos of me doing the service. Maybe a couple video clips, you know, showing my setup or showing my stuff, showing me in action, and I'll give you the jewelry for free. So that way you're bartering services.
Yeah, all you need is like a couple. Like you don't need to do a whole photo shoot.
Right.
But so last question I have. What's a strategy I can do to get more attention on social media that doesn't cost money? Okay.
So just to be honest with you guys, the best way to get attention on social media is through advertising, Facebook and Instagram ads. It's the main service I do in my marketing agency. But I know that costs money, and I know that we want to make back money, you know, quickly and have high profit margins and all that. So if you're not ready to start running ads yet, you can do a strategy. And going back for a second, the concept I always teach is you either have time or money. If you don't have both, you need to make some real life changes, but you either have time or money. So if you don't have the money to run ads right now, then you have time. And so you can literally be building a business laying in bed, or, you know, not to be crude, literally on the toilet, you can sit there and do this strategy. So anytime. And this is called Instagram DM strategy. And so, you know, they say it goes down in the DM. It's very true. I've literally made millions of dollars in Instagram DM through this exact strategy. And so what you're going to do is you're going to find local businesses that maybe are similar to you, you know, maybe like hair salons. And when I say similar, like probably a women demographic, hair salons, even your competitors, if you want, that's up to you. Jewelry stores, you know, local influencers, anything local. Find those Instagram accounts, and what you're going to do is go to the followers and find people who are in your local area, you know, and send them a DM. You know, you can like a couple of their photos if you want. An advanced tactic is, instead of just sending them a straight DM, reply to their story, because that's going to go to their DMs, but it looks more organic. And so what you're going to do is you're going to send people DMs just to be safe. I don't copy and paste, and make it personalized. And so instead of just copying and pasting a message, look at their profile for a second. If they're into dogs, be like, oh my gosh, your dog's so cute. I noticed you're local here in the area. We follow the same account, you know, or the same salon or whatever. Have you ever heard of permanent jewelry? And it can be that simple. Just start a conversation, and then those people can quickly turn into clients.
I love that. Yeah. Also, you have to be careful. Like, you have a limit. Instagram will flag you if you send too many.
Yeah, I would say starting out, don't do more than 50 a day.
Yeah.
And try to spread that out throughout the day. Like, don't just sit there and do 50 in like 10 minutes. But as you season your account and just keep doing it, sometimes we do up to 100. Yeah, I would say 100 a day is like the max.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you, Jake.
Awesome.
That was
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.